Tara Mehta was 25 years old. She came to a new city for her first job. The city was big. The roads were busy. The buildings were tall. Tara stood with her suitcase and looked at the sunset. She wanted to feel excited, but inside, she felt nervous. She said softly, "This is my new city. This is my new life." Everything was new, and for the first time, Tara was truly alone. That evening, Tara reached her rented room. It was small, but clean. There was one bed, one table, one chair, and one window. She kept her suitcase near the wall and looked around. The room was quiet. There was no family voice, no mother calling her for dinner, and no one asking about her day. Tara sat on the bed and took a deep breath. "It is okay," she whispered. "I will manage." The next day was her first day at work. She met many people. Everyone was polite, and everyone was busy. In the evening, she came back to her room. City lights were shining outside the window, but inside the room, Tara felt empty. Her phone was on the table. No messages. No calls. She thought, "I am alone in this city." Then she remembered one simple thing. Being alone does not mean being weak. She whispered, "I am alone, but I am not weak." At the office, Tara worked carefully. She listened, wrote notes, and tried to understand everything. During tea break, some colleagues sat together. They were laughing and talking freely. Tara sat at another table with her cup. She wanted to join them, but she did not know what to say. Her English was okay, but not confident. She worried, "What if I say something wrong?" Sometimes loneliness is not about having no people around you. Sometimes it is about not being able to express yourself. After office, Tara went to a small cafe. She ordered tea and sat near the corner. Around her, people were talking. Friends were laughing. Office workers were discussing their day. Tara held her cup and looked at the table. For a moment, she felt sad. Then she opened a notebook from her bag. "Maybe I can use this time," she thought. She wrote one simple practice line. "Today, I will speak one sentence in English." It was a small idea, but sometimes a small idea can change a life. That night, Tara stood in front of the mirror. Her notebook was open on the table. At first, she felt shy. Then she smiled and said, "Why am I feeling shy? There is nobody here." She took a deep breath and spoke slowly. "My name is Tara Mehta. I work in an office. I am learning to speak better English. I am alone, but I am growing." She repeated the lines again and again. Her voice became clearer. "Every day," she said, "I will speak a little more." A few days later, Tara started going to a park in the morning. She sat on a bench with her notebook. The air was fresh. The trees were green. The sunlight was soft. She read her practice lines. "I can speak slowly. I can speak clearly. I do not need to be perfect. I only need to keep practicing." At first, she spoke very softly. Then she looked around. Nobody was watching her. So Tara smiled and spoke a little louder. The park became her morning classroom. One afternoon, Tara's manager asked a question in a meeting. Everyone was thinking, Tara knew the answer, but her heart started beating fast. Old Tara wanted to stay quiet, but new Tara remembered her mirror practice, her park practice, and her notebook. She raised her hand slowly. Then she spoke. At first, her voice was soft, but after one sentence, she became steady. Her manager nodded and said, "That is a good point, Tara." It was not perfect English, but it was her voice. And that was enough. That night, Tara sat at her table. The lamp was glowing warmly, and her notebook was open. She wrote about her day. Today I spoke in the meeting. I was nervous, but I did it. I am proud of myself. Then she read the lines aloud, slowly and clearly. She realized something important. Confidence does not come in one day. Confidence grows quietly. It grows when you try, when you repeat, and when you do not give up. She said softly, "My alone time is my practice time." One evening, Tara cooked dinner for herself. She chopped vegetables, stirred the pan, and listened to the sound of food cooking. Earlier, silence made her sad. But now, silence felt peaceful. She used even this time to practice English. I am cooking dinner. I am adding vegetables. I am taking care of myself. I can enjoy my own company. Then she laughed. She was not waiting for someone to make her happy. She was learning to become comfortable with herself. On Sunday morning, Tara went to a quiet cafe. She sat near a large window. Sunlight came through the glass. There was a cup of tea on the table, a notebook in front of her, and no rush. This time, Tara did not feel lonely. She felt calm. She wrote peaceful thoughts. Being alone is not a punishment. Being alone can be a gift. It gives me time to think, time to learn, and time to become strong. Tara closed her notebook and smiled. In the evening, Tara stood on the balcony. The sun was going down, and the city lights were slowly turning on. She held her notebook close to her heart. This was the same city that once made her feel small. But now, Tara looked at it with confidence. She was still alone sometimes, but she was not afraid anymore. She had found a friend in herself. She smiled and said, "I am alone, but I am not weak. I am alone, but I am growing." Being alone is not the end of happiness. Sometimes it is the beginning of confidence.